What's up, Browns fans? Walking to the stadium as we speak, as you can tell. Leaving 92 through the fan and headed to the stadium for the game. It has stopped raining momentarily, so that's kind of nice. I got a little break in the action there where I can actually do this without my hood up. But appreciate you guys jumping on in with us for this pregame conversation. I am sad to be, if you didn't know already, but apparently they were probably scouring the internet looking for tickets for this game for that reason alone. And there's been now reports that she's not going to be here. So sorry to tell you that. But around that, there is a football game that has to be played. Browns obviously eliminated from postseason contention, but have talked this week about this game still meaning something, trying to finish the season strong. Beating the defending two-time Super Bowl champions would, be a nice momentum builder for them moving forward. And I do think they're going to play, obviously, with a lot of heart as they have throughout most of the season. So we'll see what all that kind of looks like. But from an on-the-field standpoint, Browns are going to be really shorthanded on offense, which is concerning. No David Njoku, no Cedric Tillman, who was obviously ruled out on Friday. Njoku ruled out this morning after sort of testing his hamstring pregame and just wasn't able to go. So, I think that's notable in terms of trying to, again, win a game when you have limited weapons at your disposal. But I also think that means there's a chance for Jerry Jeudy to sort of feast today. This Chiefs defense, about 20th in the league in terms of yards allowed per game passing wise. So they are susceptible to giving some things up. They are susceptible to, offenses making plays against them in that way. And Jameis has obviously shown a propensity to be able to do those things and have success, especially with Jerry. So big games from him, big game from Elijah Moore. I think it's a game the Browns can keep close. What I do find interesting, though, is as good as the Chiefs' defense is, it's not a defense that's creating a lot of turnovers this year. They're -4 in turnover differential, so they're actually turning the ball over more than they're creating turnovers. And that's something that we know has been a bugaboo for Jameis Winston. He throws a lot of interceptions. I'm kind of going into it expecting him to throw at least one today, even though it's not something the Chiefs do a lot, because with Jameis, it's not even about forcing the interceptions. It's kind of just about what he does. It's part of his playing style. It's part of his game. He's a gunslinger. So we'll see what that looks like. We'll see if he does that. If he can protect the football, there's a really good chance the Browns win this game. I believe that wholeheartedly, even though it's the Chiefs. They play a lot of one-score games. The big equalizer, of course, is the fact that you have Patrick Mahomes, who late in games, he finds ways to win. There's a reason he has in total combined this year 7 game-winning drives, 4 or 5 fourth-quarter comebacks just in general this year. It speaks to a Chiefs team that maybe isn't as dominant as previous years offensively, but also that when things get tight at the end of a game, they got the quarterback, they got the players to kind of get the job done between Mahomes, Kelce, etc. And so that's the biggest thing. Taking care of the football for Jameis is massively important. Not giving Patrick Mahomes that last drive of the game is going to be important, or just being able to build a lead that, is insurmountable that he can't come back from, which I don't necessarily think is going to happen because that defense is so good. I think running the football is going to be tough today, but we'll see what all that looks like. I thought they had good balance last week with the run in the pass, and I'm sure they want to sort of make that a focal point or try to do more of that again this week. So we'll see if they're able to replicate that in some capacity. I also think, too, how they cover Travis Kelce is going to be sort of fascinating to watch, because he hasn't having an amazing year by his standards, and the Browns don't necessarily have the right people to cover him with Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah is still out. No Greg Newsome, obviously, this week either. And so I think that could present some problems for them. And I think he could be poised for a big game, especially just considering he's back in his hometown, trying to put up some big numbers. Another thing I sort of noted earlier today as a lock, I expect, I don't know that Kareem Hunt's going to have a big game necessarily, but I do expect him to score at least one touchdown. I think they're going to make a point in getting the hometown guys involved this week and getting them some scores and some opportunities. So I'm expecting that at least for Kareem Hunt and his return to Cleveland as well. So again, I apologize for anybody disappointed by the Taylor Swift news, assuming it's still true. I haven't checked Twitter since I started walking here, obviously. But still a game. Seems like Browns fans aren't really as, I don't know. I was told that the tailgate scene was not what it usually is. So I found that a little bit interesting. I also find it interesting that, yeah, there we go. I also find it interesting that the anti-dome crowd, not really vocal today. They liked the snow a couple weeks ago. I don't know that they like the cold and the rain like we're getting today. So, but guys, my final prediction, 23-20 Chiefs. I hate to break it to you. I picked the Browns last week against the Steelers. I had some faith, and they let me down, as they tend to do. I've been awful with my picks this year, I think. I'd like to go back and actually see what my record is in terms of picking this team, because it's got to be bad. They've won the games I thought they had no chance, and they've lost all the games that I thought they had a chance. It's been miserable. But, guys, we appreciate you stopping on by here for this pregame conversation. I'll be at the stadium here in a little bit. We encourage you, as always, to head on over to si.com/NFL/Browns throughout the game, before and after, to find out anything going on with the team, any of the latest and greatest breaking news from a Browns standpoint, and, of course, find more content like this, including our post-game conversation that we'll do from the field or somewhere in the stadium after the game, after the press conferences are all wrapped. And you can find all those press conferences, as always, over at the Cleveland Browns and SI YouTube channel as well, where some of you might be watching this right now. That's going to do it for me here for our pregame conversation. I will talk to you guys post-game. As always, keep on following along with all things Cleveland Browns, with Cleveland Browns on SI.